Hi, I'm Brian Pulver. Welcome to my latest health update. Thought I'd give the audio update a shot. I'm pretty much just going to read my update, which hopefully you'll find in the description field. It should all fit down there. Um, People tell me a lot that when they read my writings, whatever it may be, they always say they can always hear it as like I would say it. Apparently I write the way I talk. But I thought it might be fun for some folk who especially haven't seen me or heard me in a while. Might be fun to actually hear me read the update. I thought it'd be fun. Anyway, I hope you find it fun too. So here we go. From the laptop of Brian, July 20th, 2015, in which things don't work like they're supposed to, and corrections will take time, and where too much of a good thing is indeed too much. I've survived the yearly pre-transplant checkup. Overall, things are still looking good. And now it's been a few days, so I can relax because there haven't been any phone calls. No news is good news. The theme of weight loss continues. Since this was my second year checkup, I met with the dietitian. Her and the social worker are every other year stops. I'm not in the too heavy to transplant range, but there is concern. Even though I'm in the upper limit, the concern is that even if I stay where I'm at, there's a danger I could gain weight after the transplant. Everyone gains weight. But it makes sense. You're feeling better, things taste better, life is better. You're no longer on a restricted diet, and I can see how the combination makes a perfect weight gain storm. The amount people gain varies. Some gain a little, some gain a lot, but everyone gains. So, hang on, you're healthy. Surely a little extra weight isn't the end of the world. Well, yes it is. It was vividly explained to me by my dietitian. Now, imagine you have a colander. One of those things you pour your pot of spaghetti into to drain out the water but keep the noodles. Okay, are you picturing it? Okay, now imagine that you're washing it out in the sink. The faucet pours into it, no big deal, the water flows through without a problem. Well, now in a heavier situation, you've got an increase in weight and blood pressure. So the colander is being squeezed while instead of a gentle faucet, it's a fire hose blasting water into it. So the colander's chances of survival are greatly reduced. Even a metal one will eventually give out from the continual blast of water and the impurities and everything it's trying to catch. The human kidney is a much more fragile thing, no metal parts, and it doesn't rest. So, I'm not sure how what little I've got left is still holding up while I'm trying to get everything sorted out. That last 10% must be tough. So, to help stave off getting too heavy and damaging a new kidney, I need to get lower under the cap. The lower you start, the more you can gain before you're in danger. The dietitian and I talked a good bit about what to do and how to look at things. She was really good at it. Even when I were expecting a lecture, I got a discussion. I hadn't remembered her being mean or anything, but my current situation is something to be proud of. But we walked through it, and she talked with me and not at me. It was a great end to a day of scanning, poking, bleeding, and checking. I'm supposed to call her in 3 months and give her an update. Yes, I made sure to put it in my phone so I'll remember. Well, after all that, I'm optimistic, which means I have to be careful. I've learned that I possess what I've determined to be weapons-grade optimism. Sure, it sounds like a great thing, and it usually is. It's the part of me that stays motivated to push through, tough times. Late night sets? No problem. Just a few more and I get to go home. Life not optimal? It's okay. It's hard. It hurts. But I can get through it, and I will get through it. I've got through just as bad, if not worse. Right? It sounds pretty powerful. Well, and it has been. Where's the downside? How could that possibly be bad? Well, it turns out it's not inherently evil, but it can be damaging when it pulls away from an anchor in reality. I've learned that I've got to remember to kind of keep a solid reality check on the optimism, or it does more harm than good. I have to stop and look at the situation. Can we really get things done? Do we have everything we need? Is that same support that got me through tough life moments still in place and just as strong as last time? Optimism wants to say it is. Or if not, it will be. Just keep working and keep going. Unchecked, it can get me in trouble. I'm doing better at reining it in. So while I'm optimistic that I can get on track and do a better job of watching what I eat and monitoring my blood pressure, I have to make sure I actually do the work involved and not just assume, that it'll happen. So far, it's going okay. There's a weird but effective mnemonic sort of thing the dietitian instilled in me. Every time I find myself straying and going with, the less ideal option or choice, I say out loud, I know this isn't the best choice I could make, but I'm making it, and I'm going to enjoy it anyway. Now, at first glance, it looks like I'm just acknowledging my behavior, and eventually I'll pick up on how often I say it. Well, that's true, but then there's the second part. As the dietitian was explaining how it worked, she hit me with the unexpected. She said that I'm going to make the less than ideal choices, but she wanted me to enjoy them. Acknowledge the behavior, but don't regret it to the point of derailing the process. Wow, as I type that, I'm hoping I convey it right. And as I'm reading what I typed, I think I'm conveying it right. Anyway, here's the effect. I've done it. I've said it out loud. And I caught on pretty quick that while it wasn't every meal followed with the recitation, it still stuck with me that I said it more than I thought I would. Then I didn't want to say it. I wanted to make the better choice so I wouldn't be saying it yet again. Very sneaky. In light of that, I'm also working more on figuring out what the better choices are. During the consultation, we covered the obvious things, but we also covered the part I had either forgotten or didn't catch last time. While not adding salt to meals helps keep sodium low, there's still plenty of things with sodium in them that can still contribute more than I think. While I'm working on that, I'm also working on keeping moving, doing something. Now, I don't have to walk 5 miles in one outing if it's crazy hot or if I'm not feeling up to it, whatever the reason. I'm sore, tired, really not wanting to melt on the pavement, whatevs. But I should do something to get myself in a habit of doing something every day. There's plenty I can do inside. Do something every day, even if it's only 15 minutes, and keep doing something every day for 3 months. That's how long it takes to establish a new habit. Now, after that, not doing something will feel off and my body will actually want to do something. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but I'm working on it and progressing. Celebrate the little things, big things too. Personally, I'm waiting to celebrate my car getting back into shape. It's not faring well currently. We, my mechanic cousin, and I have tracked it down to being the head gasket. The oil and water aren't mixing, so I've got time, but I'm not sure how long I can make it my work commute with the heater on to help keep my car from overheating. I've got to wait until my cousin is free to help me replace the gasket. Now, I can take it to a local shop if it gets too much to bear, but that family discount is just kind of hard to pass up, especially in these summer months with the few summer hours that exist. I'll be okay. Now, don't worry, the optimism here is anchored. And before I go, I just want to pass along one last important thing. A few folks have thanked me for suggesting Facebook pages like Humans of New York and recently Upworthy. You're welcome. I like finding great content and sharing it. I'd like to take a moment and share another important page, Caden's Fight. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, if you went to DeSoto High School back in the day, you may remember Caden's parents, Kevin and Michelle Timmons. Now, here's their first update. Hi everyone, so sorry for the delay in posting our first update. As most of you know, Caden underwent his third open heart surgery on June 18th, known as the FONTM procedure. During that surgery, he suffered an air embolism to his brain, which caused him to suffer a massive stroke and left him with global damage to his brain. While his heart is functioning perfectly, he is still fighting to recover from the stroke. And we will be posting regular updates on his progress from here on out, as well as photos and videos of his journey to recovery. Now for the disclaimer. Some images that we'll be posting may be difficult to see or watch, but we feel they depict a true picture of where he was and the progress he's made. It's hard to watch at first, and when you're looking at it as a story of tragedy. It's a young life, a young family, drastically transformed so suddenly. But the more videos I've been watching, I've stopped seeing the tragedy, and I'm seeing more the beauty of the many people involved in Caden's rehab, and each moment of progress is wonderful. And that's not just the optimism talking. So from here, I'm going to be busy eating right, walking, sweating, but everyone is fighting their own battles. And one of the most important things I've learned along the way is that we don't have to fight them alone. And with that, I'm Brian, and I'll keep you posted.